Hello! Welcome to the Historical Romance Novels Reader's Advisory, brought to you by Gwinnett County Public Library. My name is Amber.
My name is Donna.
And my name is Latifa. This video will be going over what historical romance is, what things you can expect within the genre, as well as book recommendations that you can find at your local Gwinnett County Library.
What is a historical romance novel? Romance novels are a type of fiction where romantic relationships are the main storyline. Every romance novel ends with the happily ever after, an HEA, which in the past included marriage and a baby, but as times have changed, so has that particular expectation. If the book does not have a happy ending, it cannot be classified as a romance novel. Historical romances are romance novels set in the past. Oftentimes, the classification of the genre is anything set before the World War II era. Let's begin with what some of you may be here for, the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. The Bridgerton series starts off with The Duke and I, the plot of which you may recognize from the first season of the Netflix period drama. To know what to expect in Season 2, read the next book in the series, The Viscount Who Loved Me. The series has 8 books, as well as 8 novellas following each book. The Smythe Smith series is a spin-off featuring characters you may recognize from the Bridgertons, starting with the first book, Just Like Heaven. There are 4 books in total. If you still haven't had enough of the Bridgerton family, read the prequel series. The first book is called Because of Miss Bridgerton, and there are 4 books in the Rokesby series. So, what do you need to know if you're a beginner in historical romance? For genres, you may come across Georgian, Regency, Victorian, Western, or perhaps even medieval with knights or Vikings. Some subgenres you may come across are mystery, spy, adventure, and paranormal. Some popular tropes you might see are marriage of convenience, scandals, tortured heroes, or wagers and bets. You will also become quite familiar with things like English nobility, such as dukes and ladies, rakes, spinsters, and the London season.
First, let's start off with the Georgian era. This time period is between 1714 and 1830. While this era may not be as popular as Regency or Victorian, there are still plenty of books to find. The books featured here are Not the Duke's Darling by Elizabeth Hoyt, the first in the Grey Court series, Heartless by Mary Belloc, the first in the Georgian series, and Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James, the first in the Desperate Duchesses series. Other books to recommend are A Kiss at Midnight by Eloisa James and These Old Shades by Georgette Heyer. Next up, we have the Regency era. This is the most popular era found within historical romance. This time period is from 1811 through 1820. Though many romance readers and writers count the end of this era as 1830. The books featured are Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas, the first in the Wallflower series, A Rogue by Any Other Name by Sarah MacLean, the first in the Rules of a Scoundrel series, and Romancing the Duke by Tessa Dare, the first in the Castles Ever After series. Other recommendations are The Soldier Scoundrel by Cat Sebastian, Forever Your Earl by Eva Lee, and The Trouble with the Dukes by Grace Burrows. The Victorian era is the second most popular historical romance novel time period, lasting from 1837 to 1901. The books featured are The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie by Jennifer Ashley, the first in the Mackenzie and McBride's series, The Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan, the first in the Wedgford Trial series, and The Duchess War by Courtney Milan, the first in the Brothers Sinister series. Other books to recommend are Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore, Cold-Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas, and A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem by Manda Collins.
Western historical romances are set in the American West. These books feature cowboys, ranchers, and maybe even an outlaw or two. The featured books are Forbidden by Beverly Jenkins, the first in the Old West series, Outlaw Hearts by Roseanne Bittner, the first in the Outlaw Hearts series, and A Heart So Wild by Joanna Lindsay, the first in the Stratton series. Other recommendations include The Gunslinger's Vow by Amy Sandus, Destiny's Embrace by Beverly Jenkins, and The Man from Stone Creek by Linda Lael Miller. Highlander romances are romances featuring a Scottish hero or heroine and may take place in Scotland. The books shown are It's Getting Scott in Here by Suzanne Enoch, the first in the Wild Wicked Highlander series, How to Seduce a Scot by Christy English, the first in the Broadswords and Ballroom series, and Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks, the first in the Montgomerys and Armstrong series. Other books to recommend are Beyond the Highland Mist by Karen Marie Moning, The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie by Jennifer Ashley, and The Secret by Julie Garwood. Books that take place in medieval times or Viking times may have knights or Vikings as the hero. The books shown here are Charming the Prince by Teresa Medeiros, the first in the Once Upon a Time series, The Knight's Forbidden Princess by Carol Townsend, the first in the Princesses of Alhambra series, and Stolen by the Viking by Michelle Willingham, the first in the Sons of Sigurd series. More recommendations include A Kingdom of Dreams by Judith McNaught, Untamed by Elizabeth Lowell, and Always by Lindsay Sands.
If you would like to try some historical romances that take place outside of the most commonly seen Regency and Victorian eras, or even get out of Great Britain, we have some recommendations for you. An Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole, the first in the Loyal League series, takes place in Civil War America. The Lotus Palace by Jeannie Lin, the first in the Ping Kong Lee mystery series, which takes place in Imperial China. And Bitter Spirits by Jen Bennett, the first in the Roaring Twenties series, which is set in 1920s San Francisco. Other books to recommend are At the King's Command by Susan Wiggs, Revolutionary Hearts by Pema Danyo, and Wedding of the Season by Laura Lee Girk. The last section are books known as clean or proper historical romance. These are books which feature no sexual content. Here we have My Sister's Intended by Rachel Anderson, the first in the Serendipity series, Promises and Primroses by Josie S. Kilpack, the first in the Mayfield family series, and Longing for Home by Sarah M. Eden, the first in the Longing for Home series. Other recommendations include False Colors by Georgette Heyer, Lakeshore Park by Megan Walker, and Adoring Abigail by Challen Linton.
One way to find historical romance recommendations is to use Novelist Plus. You have access to it through the Gwinnett County Library website. To find it, go to www.gwinnettpl.org. From there, you can select Learn and Explore. Then, select Adult Digital Resources. Everything is in alphabetical order, so scroll down until you reach the ends. There, you will find Novelist Plus.
Once there, you can see you have several different options to search. There is a search bar at the top. On the side, under Recommended Reading List, you can find a link for romance. When you hover your mouse over it, you can see that more links will appear with different kinds of subgenres found in romance novels. You can find historical romances in several of these categories, such as Regency rogues, Victorian days, Western romances, etc. Selecting one of these categories will show you a recommended reads list.
Another way to find recommendations is to type in a book you liked. Here we are typing in The Duke Who Didn't. Once you select the book, you will be brought to this page. You can click on the author's name or the series name. On the right-hand side of the screen, there are read-alikes. When you scroll down, you will see Search for More. You can see that there are several elements to choose from that make up the book. We like that it is a historical romance that is culturally diverse, so we will select those and hit search. And there are your results.
Thank you for watching and happy reading!